Standing at 330 meter tall, this concrete behemoth dwarfs the surrounding apartment blocks. At the time it was built, the Ryugyong was intended to be the tallest hotel in the world, a 99-floor skyscraper that would project North Korean might to the very edges of the earth. But that never happened. Instead, work ground to a halt in 1992, leaving only a desolate skeleton. The nickname the Western press gave this unfinished eyesore, the Hotel of Doom. But what caused this grand project to go awry? What unknown calamity turned this socialist dream into so much abandoned concrete? The answer to that question is even darker than you're probably expecting. Today, the Unbelievable Show is exploring the tallest unoccupied building in the entire world and uncovering the forgotten tragedy that turned this one-time hotel into a silent tomb. The Ryugyong Hotel, named after a historical moniker for Pyongyang meaning capital of willows, was supposed to open just 2 years later. But it never did. While the structure reached its planned height in 1992, it stood windowless and hollow for another 16 years, its naked concrete exposed, like a menacing monster overlooking the city. During that time, the building, which dwarfs everything around it, earned itself the nickname Hotel of Doom. The hotel has since been clad in metal and glass, and was later fitted with LED lights to turn it into a colorful nighttime spectacle. Construction work has started and stopped many times, fueling constant speculation over whether it will ever open to guests. Still closed to this day, the Ryugyong Hotel is the world's tallest unoccupied building. The Ryugyong Hotel was a product of the Cold War rivalry between US-supported South Korea and the Soviet-backed North. The year before construction commenced, a South Korean firm had built what was then the world's tallest hotel, the Westin Stamford in Singapore. The South's capital, Seoul, was meanwhile getting ready to host the 1988 Summer Olympics, with the country transitioning to a capitalist democracy. The truth behind the mysterious holes in Hong Kong's high-rises. As part of North Korea's political response to the South's achievements, Pyongyang organized the 1989 World Festival of Youth and Students, a sort of socialist version of the Olympics. The country planned to build the massive hotel just in time for the event, stealing the world record away from the South. But due to engineering problems, it wasn't finished in time for the festival. The government had already poured billions into the event, building a new stadium, expanding Pyongyang's airport, and paving new roads. That put a strain on the hermit state's frail economy, while the Soviet Union's collapse left it deprived of vital aid and investment. North Korea was bound for an economic crisis. The building consists of 3 wings, each sloped at a 75-degree angle, converging into a cone encasing the top 15 floors, which are intended for restaurants and observation decks. The pyramidal shape is about more than aesthetics, it's because the Ryugyong, unusually for a skyscraper, is made of reinforced concrete rather than steel. Most of the buildings are made of concrete. That's the material that they are familiar with, and the technology transfer between Soviet or communist states is purely based around concrete. In 2008, after a 16-year pause, construction unexpectedly resumed, as part of a deal with Orascom, an Egyptian conglomerate that was contracted to build North Korea's 3G network. The rusty old crane that had stood atop the building for 2 decades was finally removed. Workers aided by Egyptian engineers installed glass and metal panels to the concrete structure at the cost of $180 million, glazing it completely and giving the building a polished, sleek appearance. The project, completed in 2011, fueled speculation about the hotel's opening. Long-standing rumors that the building was structurally unsound due to poor construction techniques and materials gained strength once again. Judging from the exterior, the building looks structurally sound, although the interior may be a different story. I think the real problem might be the ease of fitting it out, because it was built with concrete, and it would take a lot of time to rewire the necessary services and ventilation systems that were originally created to 1980 specifications. That would be much easier with a steel structure. Although its external appearance had been transformed, the Ryugyong still wasn't open. The Ryugyong came back to life in 2018, when LEDs were installed on its facade, turning the building into Pyongyang's biggest light show, as well as a propaganda machine. A 4-minute program shows North Korea's history and a variety of political slogans, while the cone at the top projects a huge North Korean flag. It's really striking the first time you see it, especially after so many years of the building sitting there in darkness.